The AK-47 of dirt bikes. Designed to run upside down, inside out, underwater or filled with mud. Its production run's been unbroken since 1990, and whilst always popular, it skyrocketed to mainstream during the 2010s, with legends like Taddy Blazusiak, Jarvis and Jonny Walker. The bike built a reputation for trivialising terrain that might otherwise have stopped you, and despite being of problematic two-stroke design, something Soichiro Honda once described as a bamboo tube with holes drilled, it became a staple of legendary reliability. I've always wanted to own one, but with one thing and another, it's just never quite ended up happening. Until now. This is my brand new cross-country spec KTM 300. Only this one's a bit weird in that it's not actually a KTM. It's a gas. But it's a gas in the same way that the Supra is a Toyota. That's to say, not at all. It's fuel and oil injected, so you don't need a mixed gas. It's counterbalanced, so it doesn't vibrate. The 293cc power plant puts 50 horsepower to the wheel, and the whole thing tips the scales at just 108 kilos. Needless to say, I was pretty excited. And as I sit here, 60 hours worth of seat time later, I can confirm that this is without a doubt the most disappointing bike I've ever bought. Temporarily. Let me explain. Motocross, cross country, enduro, and much more. Join me for the ride of a lifetime. It ran like shit. It wasn't just the bogging either. Down low, it felt more like a 200cc. And whilst the top was strong, it seemed to light up randomly. I hated riding it. Right from the outset, I was messing around with the power valve, asking friends, just trying anything I could think of to fix it. This couldn't be it. The legendary KTM 300, the IT bike. And it was terrible. In fact, it was so bad, I actually took it back to the dealership and said, "Can you guys have a look at it? This can't be right." They told me it ran perfectly and had loads of torque for one of these. So, fearing I'd gone insane, I got a second opinion.
Feels like it's almost flooding. Even like when you start up and ride out here, it's already fouling.
Yeah,
I reckon.
Sometimes you crack the throttle on and you get near enough nothing, eh? Like just a
Yeah,
burble.
it's just it's not crisp.
So, it wasn't just me. And a quick Google search soon revealed that it was far from just me. Customers all over the world were experiencing the same forlorn sinking feeling I was, having just spent thousands and thousands on a new bike, which frankly sucked.
I've got to be dead honest, I've been really disappointed with it. As soon as I was riding, I was like, this should have more power. Just gutless.
But whilst we were complaining, the factory boys were winning. Clearly they'd figured out a way to make these new fuel-injected two-strokes work, but despite public outrage and global customer dissatisfaction, they weren't telling. It remains a secret to this day what those teams had developed to fix it. But fortunately for us, one rider, one god, some might say, wasn't using the factory solution. Jarvis was running aftermarket.
It's Dave from TSP. I'm out here with Jarvis. Graham's running our TSP cylinder head. on his bike. He's currently got the medium compression, and under the seat we've obviously got the TSB ECU reflash. What difference in feel do you find with the TSA?
It just runs more consistently. It's got a better feel about it. It's not too lean, too rich. It just runs real sweet.
Do you think you could do the same stuff with a bog stock bike, or do you think this makes it
It just makes everything so much easier. Like I say, just runs sweet. The power's there, right the way through the range. It's what we want.
And when Grimbo says jump, you say how high. The company's called Two Stroke Performance, and their product's basically a little computer that can tap into the encrypted ECU, which was deliberately designed to be unmodifiable, and, well, modify it. The kit also comes with a billet head to increase compression, a hotter spark plug, and an idle adjuster bolt, since KTM took that away too for some reason. Bullet point 1 on their website states much more torque at low to mid revs, and an increase in power higher up in the rev range as well. It sounded too good to be true, and I fitted it, not daring to believe. The bike was so far gone that I couldn't see how such simple modifications were going to make that much of a difference.
Fingers crossed. We should be able to audibly hear how much crisper it is and how much more snappy and responsive it is, and hopefully what we won't hear is any more bogging.
I could already feel it, just riding out of the pits.
Oh my god! There's so much more grunty, what the hell? Oh my god!
It was unbelievable. As profound as going from a 200 to a 300.
There's even more top end, that's crazy.
Finally, I had the bike I thought I bought.
Right, so you had a ride on it before, right? And your opinion was pretty much the same as mine, yeah?
Yeah, it was a bit dead on the bottom.
Doughy as eh?
Yeah, you should have just bought a Vita, I reckon.
Alright, you wait and see it.
Yeah, the TSP kit definitely makes a difference, doesn't it?
It's out the gate, eh?
It's just a lot more responsive off the bottom.
Even like an 1/8 or a quarter of a throttle, the difference is like so massive.
Oh, it's just got no dead spot off the bottom.
Yeah. Well, I seen you like come out of the corner there and like wheeling off the
I
back.
hit
Like
the tree root over there.
it wouldn't do that before.
Nah, it'd just be brrrr.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a lot more crisp.
I'm just blown away. Like for me, it's not even the same bike.
Nah, it's not really.
But how the hell was this magnitude of difference from a software change possible?
The thing with KTM is that they're trying to fall into some Euro standard of emissions, right? The way I put it is that they let attorneys tune the motorcycle and they made them crazy lean. They tuned it to where they could just try to burn the least amount of fuel possible to make the least amount of emissions possible. But in doing that, they made the bike anemic at best, and honestly super prone to seizing and causing massive cylinder damage at worst, which is what we see here at the shop. I see a ton of those bikes come in with low hours, like 20, 30 hours on them. Customers complaining about no power. We explain, well, you got to do something with this thing to make it run right. And we take it apart and there's scratches all over the cylinder, and the piston's junk. And now we got to do a top end on a brand new motorcycle that here in the US is a $12,000 bike. So I'm guessing New Zealand, it's
same.
Lots of money.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, they let the emissions standards guide too much of the development of the motorcycle. To me, it was a massive mistake because I know a lot of people that will never own another KTM brand bike or Austrian bike because of those bikes.
I cannot describe how much more enjoyable it is to ride now. It wants to dance now. It wants to play. It wants to get up on top of things, jump over things. It's just so playful now. So alive, so much more connected.
Over the following year, I rode the bike in rain and mud, dust and dirt, up hills, down dales, through rivers, and just about everything else you could imagine. It performed admirably through it all. And when I found myself in a hard enduro situation, the bike was unsurprisingly brilliant. That's a 300 signature dish. And my good mood was further improved when I rode it back to back with a brand new second generation fuel injected KTM 2-stroke.
Yeah, that runs like shit. Oh my god, that is terrible.
Much cleaner, isn't it?
That just runs so much better, eh?
Yeah.
It actually revs out.
Yeah.
Yours a carbine?
Nah, mine's a first gen fuel injection, but I've modified it with the ECU reflash, and it made it 1 billion times better. Like, I fucking hated it when I got it.
Yeah. Well, this is pretty nice.
It's frustrating because KTM charge a premium for these bikes. They're the equivalent of 12,000 US dollars. And when you pay a premium, you expect to get premium quality, which they're just not delivering. And it's not only with the motor. My starter button failed after a few hours, where the crimping machine had missed and squashed all of these wires.
All 3 of them are gone. It just happened to be the button one that failed first.
A simple quality control issue that should have been caught.
It's also just the most confusing piece of wiring. Jesus Christ.
And then my front brake got recalled. But most egregious by far is the second-rate suspension.
Wow. What I just heard.
KTM have trailed the Japanese manufacturers in this department for decades, and still do. Put simply, if you want it to hold up, it'll deflect. And if you want it to be plush, it'll bottom out.
I've personally found I prefer it to bottom out.
Oh yeah, deflections are terrifying.
Yeah.
Deflections are the thing that puts you on your head. You know, bottom out might hurt your wrists or whatever, but at least it doesn't like pitch you over sideways.
The harsh reality is, a dirty old YZ250X, which is now a 22-year-old chassis, handles better, tracks more stably, and despite being 50cc smaller, actually pulls harder. But you're not going to go and buy one, are you? Because it doesn't have an electric start, doesn't have a 6-speed gearbox, doesn't have a long-range fuel tank, and it's not counterbalanced. KTM might well lose in all of the fundamentals, but their lead in features is so big that you're kind of stuck with them. So allow me to play the devil's advocate. Erzberg, the toughest single-day race in the world. Out of 29 events, KTM 300 two-strokes have won a whopping 19 of them. They're the apex predator around here. And the allure of trivialising extreme terrain, like Manny Lettenbichler, is undeniable. It's a prime example of win on Sunday, sell on Monday. But put your wallet back away. Because you probably don't race at Erzberg. Nor do I. In fact, the times I find myself in hard stuff would make up less than 1% of my total riding. And whether you like to admit it or not, I'd wager the same is true for you. But that's alright, 300s can still pedal in normal terrain as well. It's just that whenever I hop on some random four-stroke, I can almost immediately ride it faster whilst using less energy and making fewer mistakes.
I like this bike better than mine, bro.
Bro, honestly say.
Yeah, we'll swap, shall we? Straight swap.
It's not by mistake that four-strokes have become the dominant force in every other form of racing besides extreme. We've known for ages that they handle better, find more traction, and of course, pull hard, no matter the RPM. So why then are so many people buying 300 two-strokes right now? I think it's a fad, a trend, good marketing, hype. What KTM are doing at Erzberg is working, and people are happily shelling out $12,000 to shoot themselves in the foot for the majority of their riding, just so they can have the edge in the 1%. And the thing is, how much of an edge really is it? Jonny Walker finished 6th at Erzberg in 2024, riding a factory beater 300 two-stroke. Then in 2025, he entered on a stock Triumph 250 four-stroke.
Yeah, I felt good. Like, there was nothing where I felt like I needed more power. I was 6th this year, I was 6th last year on a two-stroke, so that shows. And I know a number of top riders would like to ride a four-stroke, but aren't able to.
And when you broaden your horizons to the possibility of a four-stroke, all of a sudden, you have a wealth of choice. And you can buy a bike that, I don't know, works. Don't get me wrong, now that I've done the TSP reflash, I do enjoy my bike, and with some suspension work, it could be even better. But I certainly never feel like I'm at any kind of advantage on it, and I've never had to modify a brand new bike this much just to make it rideable. If you take one thing away from this video, make it this. Don't fall for the marketing bullshit. Don't follow the sheep. Do your research, examine the type of riding you do, and pick the bike that best suits it. If that's still a KTM 300, best factor a two-stroke performance kit into the price. Ready to race. My ass.